a basket of knitting gear. Wool, scissors, and that kind of thing. May I borrow a piece of thread, Lady Eleanor?
Some thread?
Yes, please. About 2 meters?
Certainly. Help yourself.
Thanks. Good. Thread is always useful. I took some of the tear-proof stuff. I'd say something like a knight or a nobleman. And judging by his clothing, he must have been around 100 years ago. He seems somehow familiar. Probably an ancestor of the Gordons. Jeez. Now that's a friendly-looking face. That's how I imagine a bloodthirsty Russian czar would look like. Wild eyes, evil glare, and expensive clothes. I'm quite sure that he didn't earn the bling on his fingers and round his neck through hard work. A huge metal globe. A monstrous thing. There's some letters engraved in the stone plate on the globe's pedestal. There are names. A whole series of them. Wait a minute. The first name is Maximilian Mortimer Gordon. That's the name from Angelina's notes. Does that mean... Huh. I can't hear anything, but the stone slab could be the lid of a secret compartment in the globe's pedestal, and it would be an ideal hiding place for a piece of mosaic. Stories, adventures, and fairy tales. Dickens, Defoe, Anderson, Jules Verne. These are probably the most modern books in this library. The Encyclopedia Britannica in at least 3 editions. Will there ever be a bigger reference book? Shakespeare dramas, Shakespeare tragedies, Shakespeare comedies. Ah, poetry by Shakespeare. Bibles and religious texts. Some of them look damn valuable. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a handwritten version hidden somewhere here. That's the Gordon's family tree, almost the same as the one in Wales. Huh. It looks as though something's been painted over here at the top, directly above Samuel and Catherine's generation. That's the Gordon's family tree, almost the same as the one in Wales. At its peak, the British Empire encompassed around 1/4 of the entire landmass of the planet, and around 1/3 of its population. The globe is from this period. The ladies probably approve more of this division of the world than the real one. A large double-winged door. It's no different from the others. It's locked.
Inspector, you have no reason to be here. This door is to remain closed.
Certainly, madam. Please forgive me. Why is she making such a big deal about this door? Hello.
Oh, hello. A living soul, here?
My name is Falk, Inspector Falk. I'm a policeman.
A copper? How exciting. I'm Sally.
You and Bates look after everything here?
Well, looking after. Bates does most of that. He lets me do all the dirty work. Cleaning, cooking, and all that sort of thing.
Isn't that your job?
That's what he says all the time. But being honest, I'd expected something quite different, you know? I mean, a castle with such knobs living in it. You'd expect the odd soiree every now and again.
Or a cute prince.
Well, Charles is off the market now. But anyone under 80 would do this place a world of good. Sometimes it really does seem like a grave here.
Do you know what's behind the locked door in the hall?
I've asked myself that question too. But you can't get a thing out of Bates about it. Once, he got me listening at the door. He gave me such a telling off, like nothing I'd ever known before. He was so mad, he nearly collapsed. He was coughing blood and I had to hold him up. I've been giving the door a wide berth since then.
I've got to find out what's behind that door. The rooms there would be an ideal hiding place for one of the mosaic tiles. Can you tell me anything about Samuel's ghost? Apparently it's been seen by a few tourists.
Oh yeah, I've seen it too. At one of the windows. It scared the living daylights out of me. A gruesome face. I hope I'll never see it again.
Huh. That's true. At which window?
I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the Forbidden Wing.
Forbidden Wing.
Yeah, you know, what's behind the locked door in the hall.
Is Lady Victoria a good boss?
I don't know. Bates hardly lets me talk to her. When I first came here, I made her ladyship a few suggestions on how she might want to redecorate the castle a bit. Just get rid of a bit of the mustiness, you know? Since then, I always have to ask Bates if I want something from her ladyship.
What's wrong with Lady Eleanor?
What could be wrong with her? Snore. Sits around all day either knitting or reading.
Anything else?
She plays piano for Lady Victoria every now and again. In this house, that counts as having a wild party. You know, it's about time I got myself another position.
You want to leave?
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Maybe to a movie or a pop star's house. Somewhere where things are a bit lively at least.
What can you tell me about Lewis?
A disgusting man. Ugh. I was hoping when I started he wouldn't be a snob like all the others are here. But he's just as boring and in a permanent bad mood. I never get more than 3 words out of him.
I don't suppose there are pictures of all the cooks who have worked here by any chance.
No idea. Must be ages ago, though, since there was an actual cook here. Ask Bates, he knows everything.
I'd prefer not to ask either him or Lady Victoria.
Then I don't know either.
Do you know this woman?
Never seen her before. Looks a bit like a snob.
Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
A pair of old rubber boots. They're as clean as when they were made, though. Perhaps they belong to Lewis. A kitchen range that could really only be found in furniture catalogs of the last century. Well, the dishes are well looked after, but you can't hide their age. They're becoming faded. There ain't many dishes for such a big household, but they're probably only used by the ladies. Much too good for the servants. Two little metal pots. Judging by the layer of dust, they're no longer used. A few teaspoons. They're all well polished and lined up in a neat row. I'm just gonna take a spoon. Coffee grinder is the last thing I'd have expected in an English castle, but it looks really new and unused. Oh, excellent. Transylvania may be somewhere in Romania. But don't worry, we're ready for undead in this castle too. An ancient well. I can't imagine that it's still in use. Even this place must have a normal water supply by now. Who have we got here? Huh. This thieving magpie in a raven suit has something I need. I knotted the spoon to the thread. You're not gonna free that in a hurry. Let's try it. Look at this! A shiny spoon! An old wooden ladder. It seems to have been used a lot. The rungs are really worn and smooth. He doesn't like that at all. I gotta be careful. Ravens have got hard beaks that are sharp as knives. They can really make a mess of you. Excellent. Angelina's mosaic piece. Piece of mosaic for a spoon. A good deal for me. Lewis toolbox. Various wrenches, a cloth, a hammer, pliers, all the things you need. Huh. I think I'll take the big hammer. I could also use it as a weapon if I need to, which might be the case in this place. Hey, Lewis.
You again? I thought you'd been thrown out.
Lady Victoria gave me permission to have a look around the castle and the gardens.
How nice of her. What do you want?
What can you tell me about the castle?
Nothing. A big, ugly building.
With an overgrown garden.
What have I got to do with that?
Aren't you the gardener?
My garden's a few 100 miles west of here.
In Wales.
That's right.
So you just do the bare minimum here, if at all.
The garden's too big for one man alone, and what's the point in looking after it? This whole place is doomed. House is falling apart. The lady won't live for much longer, and Bates is as good as dead.
You're hoping that Lady Eleanor will return to Wales when Lady Victoria dies.
Perhaps.
That's a nice car.
Certainly is. The only decent surprise here. I discovered it behind the stables and built it back up from scratch. My father used to work on a car like this, and he taught me quite a bit.
Do you sometimes take it out for a spin? To the coast, for example?
I drive the ladies. They used to still have bloody horses in the stable, but looking after them was too much effort for the old folks. Now, this is the only pair of weeds. But the ladies don't leave the house much at all. Bates usually walks to the village. He says it's good for his health, but every time it takes a bit longer.
You weren't at the coast with the car this morning.
No.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something about Lady Eleanor, then you better ask Lady Eleanor. She's her own favorite subject.
You mean she's egotistical?
She threw everything away and fled here in a mad rush after Sir Richard died. Who does such a thing?
The castle and the garden in Wales reminded her of her dead husband.
And she should have thought of the family history. You don't just give up an house where generations have lived and worked.
How did her husband die?
He blew himself up, did all kinds of strange experiments. In the last years, he became obsessed with uncovering the secret of what drove Sir William and his sons insane. He hardly left his lab anymore, and collapsed in exhaustion more than once. Her ladyship was very worried.
Bates seems to be very tired.
He's terminally ill. The doctors say it's a miracle he's still alive. But let me tell you, Bates will kick the bucket on the very same day that Lady Victoria dies. Like a dog that follows its master. I think he just finds it unfitting to die before his mistress.
He says he's worked for the Gordons for more than 70 years, and that he knows all their secrets.
I'd believe that at the drop of a hat. No one knows the castle and garden better than him. But when it gets to his own bonds, he's getting forgetful. The loyal soul. That's why they've given him Sally, I think.
I met Sally.
Huh. The only one in the castle who's not at least 100 and starting to decay.
Is she a good housekeeper?
She's lousy.
She often seems to be in trouble with Bates because of that.
He's the one that chose her, and turned away much better candidates.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, if you're worried about being replaced.
Then you chose the worst possible replacement to stay indispensable yourself.
That's how it is.
Lewis, do you believe in ghosts? Some tourists claim they've seen some here.
Oh, yeah, the reputed ghost. They besieged us for weeks on end after Murray planted that rumor. A whole pack of them completely trashed the garden.
Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
The view would be great from up there. The tower seems to have windows on every side. Perhaps it used to be a defense tower and was later converted. Maybe it just looked like that from the beginning. The guy who built this castle had weird taste. Looks as if the ideas killed the tree and now attacking the house. Quite convenient for a burglar. But as long as I'm allowed to roam freely, I'm not gonna start climbing around on the facade. The castle looks really lived in from here. There's light coming from many of the windows. And now the boots look like boots should. Dirty.